Hey you guys, it's Teresa. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to continue with the kitchen organization series that I started a couple of weeks ago, where I showed you guys how I organized and cleaned up my kitchen counter space. If you want to see that video, I will link it down below and I'll try to put it somewhere in this video as well. But today we are going to tackle this cabinet that you see behind me here. This is where I keep all of my spices and things like that, and this cabinet has been driving me crazy. Let me give you a closer look. Here is my spice cabinet. As you guys can tell, it is pretty junky in here. I just have everything in this one cabinet. It's really hard for me to find things, and I've been noticing that I use the same seasonings every single time I cook, just about, depending on what I cook. But I usually cook like pastas and, you know, normal things like that, and I use the same type of seasonings for everything I do. And I keep rebuying stuff. Like you can see right here, I have 2 bottles of ketchup, at least 2 bottles of ketchup. I don't even know how many containers of barbecue sauce, and that's really because I can't see in this cabinet. I don't know what all is in this cabinet, but today we're about to find out what's in here, and I'm going to get rid of all this stuff, and I'm going to organize my spices so that I can find things when I need them, and I won't have 100 different bottles of ketchup. Let's get started, guys. Just vinegar and water. I'm going to use this to clean out the cabinets. Just give it a nice spray and wipe it out. I wish I had some new liners to put in the cabinets, but since I'm using things that I already have and I don't have any, I'm just gonna have to go with what I have here. All right, now I have everything out of the cabinet, and look at this, guys. I have so many duplicate products and seasonings here. I have like 3 bottles of ketchup, 4 or 5 bottles of barbecue sauce. Like, really, who needs 4 or 5 bottles of barbecue sauce? But anyway, I digress. I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff. I'm gonna just throw away the things that are outdated or that I don't use very often, and then I'm going to get to organizing. A huge trash bag here with all of the things that I'm getting rid of, and I'm left with these seasonings because these are basically the seasonings that I use a lot of. Garlic powder is not down here because I just ran out of garlic powder, and apparently it was the only one I really had left. So I'm going to marry some of these things together. Like over here I have like 4 things of lemon pepper seasoning. I don't need that many. I have like 2 things of parsley flakes, a couple of things of Italian seasoning, 2 things of red pepper flakes. I'm going to marry those things together so that I have 1 container of extra, and then the others I'm going to put in those glass jars back there. And I'm going to put the same thing with the rest of the seasonings, and hopefully this works out. I have washed out all the jars and I have them drying out on this towel here, and I also consolidated all of my spices into the ones that I use the most, and I'm gonna take these and transfer them into the jars, and then the extras I'm just gonna leave in the container here so that I can refill the jars as time goes on. One thing else I did is I made labels for the jars. I just went on my computer and made these labels, and I'm gonna cover this paper with some clear tape, and I'm gonna cut it out and tape it to the top of the jar. So I'm gonna get started doing that now. and get the labels on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is black pepper, just because that's the first thing I looked at. So change of plans, you guys. Instead of putting my spices up in the cabinet up here, that's not really working for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put them in this drawer right here, which is a teeny tiny drawer, which is which has all of our NutriBullet stuff in it, and it's right beside my sink. And it has a bunch of lids in it, and it has NutriBullet supplies. So I'm gonna take these out, and I'm gonna find new homes for these. This stuff will probably go up in the cabinet on this top shelf in the cabinet, and I'm gonna put my spices in this drawer. Concept for my spices. I just got them in this drawer here, and I put down a towel so that the spices won't move when you open and close the drawer. I'll show you guys. So you close and open, close and open, and they still stand straight up. So the towel is helping with friction for that. And I have everything labeled. So I got my seasoned salt, garlic powder. Actually, this is empty because I'm out of garlic powder, but once I get some, I'll put it in here. Parsley, black pepper, Italian seasoning, lemon pepper, and red pepper. Got all of that right there. It's really close to my stove. It's like Cali cornered. And I thought that it would be better in this drawer, for one, because I chose to put the labels on top of the jars instead of to the side of the jars. And also because this drawer is so small that I've kind of been having trouble to figure out what to use it for. And I used to have some NutriBullet things in here that I shared with you guys a little bit ago. And I ended up putting those things in the top shelf of the cabinet that I was cleaning out earlier. And I'm going to show you guys what came of the cabinet in just a second. But this is everything that I have right now for my spices. These are the spices that I use most of the time. Now, as you can see, I do have two little spaces right here where I can add two other spices. And I'll probably add some regular salt here, but I don't actually use regular salt that often, so I didn't bother to put it down in here. So since I only had 7 jars, I chose the 7 spices that I use the most. Now, also with this little reorganization thing that I did today, these are all items that I already had at home. I didn't buy anything for this project. I already had all of these jars and everything. So if I see some other jars, they do come from Target, but I picked mine up from Dirt Cheap because I think they were $3 for $1. If I see some more at Target or at Dirt Cheap, I will probably pick up 2 more so that I can add salt to this drawer and maybe something else, maybe some, I don't know, nutmeg or cinnamon or something like that. Who knows? But this is what I have in this drawer right now. These are the spices that I cook with pretty much every single day. Okay, you guys, here is the cabinet that we started off with. At the very top, I decided to put all of our NutriBullet things up here. So all of our cups, all of our lids, and everything fits up there really well. So now I'll know exactly where those things are. And instead of them laying flat in that drawer, they are able to stand up. And I was able to organize all the lids in the size that they're in. So I kind of have them cupped together so that I can just grab the lid whenever I need one. And then at the bottom here, I have all of our condiments and everything here. I kind of have these in a descending order so that the largest bottles are at the back, and then as you come towards the front, they get smaller and smaller. So you have the ketchup in the back left corner, then in front of that you have the mustard. In front of that is the barbecue sauce that I decided to keep. And then in the second row coming from the left, I have my sea salt in the very back because it's taller than the iodized salt, and I'll be able to see the lid. And then I have the regular salt, and moving on over to the middle there, I have my soy sauce. And then over again towards the right, I have the big bottle of hot sauce. And then in front of that, I have the smaller bottle of Texas Pete's. And then in the very corner of the right side, I just have the Pam spray, and that's the spray that we use for grilling because I don't really use Pam in the house. All in all, I feel like this was a really good organizational project. I was able to get everything done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more videos, and until next time, I will talk to you guys later.